How are you guys doing? Today is Monday, December 19th, 2022. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I am going to do a championship profile for the 2022 Argentina squad that would go to Qatar and win their third World Cup title as a nation. Going into Argentina's history, they had won it for the very first time in 1978 in Argentina. This would be the matchup where they would find themselves beating the Netherlands at the very end. They would go on and beat the Netherlands 3-1 in that final, as they would see Mario Kempes finish with 2 goals and then eventually finish with the most goals in the tournament. The second time Argentina had won the World Cup was in 1986 in Mexico. That would be the year in which they would beat West Germany in the final, as Diego Maradona would finish with the second most amount of goals in the entire tournament. Looking at how Argentina would fare coming into this particular World Cup, after having lost it to the French team in the round of 16 before France went on to win the World Cup. Argentina had gone on to win the Copa America last year over Brazil, of course leaping a hurdle that they had not yet done in quite a bit. And of course, coming into the FIFA World Cup, they would of course represent Group C coming in. Their very first matchup of the FIFA World Cup would be against Saudi Arabia, as this would be Saudi Arabia's lone win of the entire tournament. This particular matchup would start off with Lionel Messi making a penalty kick goal in the 10th minute. Salah Al-Shairi would score in the 3rd minute of second half to give Saudi Arabia at least the tie. And then 5 minutes later, Saudi Arabia would see a wonder goal from Salem Al-Dawsari in the 53rd minute. This win would result in all the Saudi Arabian players winning Rolls Royces for themselves, but that would put Argentina's back against the wall moving forward, and they could not lose after that, and they didn't. In their second matchup, they would beat Mexico 2-0. Their first goal would come in the 64th minute from Lionel Messi, his second goal of the tournament. Their second goal of this game would come from Enzo Fernandez in the 87th minute, as he would go on to win the best young player in the tournament. Their last group stage matchup would see them beat Poland 2-0. Their first goal will come in the 46th minute, the first minute of the second half, from Alexis McAllister, and then Julian Alvarez would score in the 67th minute to help Argentina push through and into the knockout stages. This would be the only game in this World Cup that Lionel Messi would not score in. The round of 16 would see Argentina face off against an Australia team that finished second in Group D to France. And going into this matchup, Argentina would go on and beat Australia 2-1. The first matchup would see Lionel Messi score in the 35th minute to give Argentina the first lead, and then Julian Alvarez to score in the 57th minute to make it 2-0 before Australia's lone goal of the tournament would result in an own goal off of an Argentinian player. This would lead into the quarterfinals, where Argentina would face off against a Netherlands team that would beat the United States 3-1 in the round of 16. In this matchup, Argentina would strike first with the first 2 goals. The only goal of the first half was a 35th minute goal from Nahuel Molina. Lionel Messi would score a penalty kick goal in the 73rd minute before Wout Weghorst from the Netherlands would score 2 goals in about 20 minutes of each other to end the second half. They would send it into penalty kicks, where eventually Lautaro Martinez would make the game-winning goal to put Argentina past the Netherlands and into what would be the semifinal round. In the semifinals, Argentina would face off against a Croatian team that would beat Brazil off of penalties in the quarterfinal round. Argentina will go on and beat Croatia 3-0. Their first goal will come in the 34th minute off of a penalty kick from Lionel Messi. 5 minutes later, Julian Alvarez would run across the length of the field to score in the 39th minute before adding to his brace in the 69th minute off of an amazing assist from Messi. With this 3-1 win, Argentina would set themselves up for a final matchup against the French team that had knocked them out in the round of 16 to go on to win their second World Cup. So while both teams were naturally chasing their third World Cups as nations, Argentina would end up beating France yesterday in the final after it went to penalty kicks. The first goal of this particular matchup would come from Lionel Messi off of a penalty kick, making it so that he would score in every single knockout stage game, and the only game that he didn't score in was Poland. After he scored, Angel Di Maria, yet another Argentinian legend and one of their elite forwards, would score in the 36th minute to put them up 2-0. France would score a brace within a 2-minute span, less than 2 minutes, from their elite forward, Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe first would score off of a penalty in the 80th minute, and in the 81st minute, he would score off of a volley on the counterattack to make it 2-2. In extra time, Argentina would strike first, as Lionel Messi's 108th minute goal would barely cross the line completely before Jules Koundé would save it in the goal post. And then France would tie it up with a Kylian Mbappe penalty, making it 2 for the game to give him the golden boot for the tournament with 8 goals total. Once it went to penalty kicks, all 4 of Argentina's penalty kick takers would make it. First, Kylian Mbappe would make it for France, and then Lionel Messi made it for Argentina. Emiliano Martinez would save Kingsley Coman's goal kick second before Paulo Dybala would put Argentina up 2-1. Aurelien Tchouameni of France would miss the goal completely, as Leandro Paredes would make his goal to put Argentina up 3-1 in the shootout. Randall Kolo Muani would make his goal for France, and considering Argentina needed one of their last 2 to go in, Gonzalo Montiel would be the player who would score the game-winning goal for Argentina. That would give them the World Cup. That will, of course, define this era of soccer, as Lionel Messi will finally get to take home his coveted World Cup trophy after Kylian Mbappe put together what possibly could have been the greatest performance in a losing effort in a World Cup final. But with that said, that brings us to where we are now, as Argentina are now 3-time World Cup champs, and it'll be interesting to see when they win their 4th. It could be the very next time. It could be 100 years from now. Of course, that is for history to tell. Thanks for listening. I hope all is well, and I will catch you with more tomorrow. I want to thank the ESPN and the FIFA sites for giving me all the facts and figures. I want to thank you for following me along for this amazing journey that we've been on. Peace out, and I will catch you with more tomorrow.